Hello everyone, Manithral here, and welcome back to the OSRS weekly update video. Now this week we have Pole 71 and Ferax Enclave updates, or / improvements. So for this week we have Pole 71 as a primary thing, and it says this week you'll see new superior Slayer creatures and quality of life update for the costume room and more. So there is superior Slayer creatures. Be extra careful in the dungeons today because the following superior Slayer creatures have been the chance to show you up while you're cutting down their lower level brethren. Spiky Turoth, Shadow Worm, Guardian Drake, and Colossal Hydra. All superior monsters roll 3 times on the regular loot table and also share a chance to hit the superior loot table, which includes the Imbued Heart and the Eternal Gem, along with other exciting drops. So it's a lot like if you're RS3 player, the central thing would be, it's the same thing almost as the special named ones that we get, like, you know, the Bloodthirsty Abyssal Demon, you know, those kind of things. It's basically the same thing as that. It's a special variant that does a lot more damage and has a higher chance of hitting. Player-owned costume room will now work as a similar passage to the tool storage in a workshop. Instead of taking all your hard-won costumes to the wardrobe, removing the wardrobe, and then building a brand new one, you'll now be able to simply upgrade the furniture. That's awesome. You can use flat packs and building materials to upgrade your furniture. Unfortunately, due to the way the upgrades work in the player-owned houses, you'll have to upgrade one tier at a time instead of skipping straight to the highest level you can build. Makes sense. Please note that this change does not apply to the toy box. Now, there's only one toy box anyway. You might also be wondering about the costume room storage network featuring in the July edition of the Gillinor Gazette. Stay tuned, and they will be polling that in the near future. Set effects in the equipment window. A new toggleable panel on the equipment window lists the stats and set effects for the equipment you're wearing. To toggle it on and off, use the set bonus button on the bottom of the worn equipment interface. If you're not seeing anything there, don't panic. That just means that the armor you're currently wearing doesn't have a set effect for the window to display. Just a heads up, this new button will not show up on the free-to-play worlds. So for now it's just members, but it'll probably be added in a little bit. Farming herb patches. Herb patches will now be the same color as a planted herb, so there'll be a little bit less confusion. The Ferax Enclave feedback changes. So you will still need to pay 5 million fee to set your respawn there. So that's one thing. A lot of people actually kind of like it. The respawn location is on free-to-play worlds as well as members, but it is a one-time fee of 5 mil. The familiar face has been spotted in the Enclave, Purdue, here to repair some of your untradables for a reasonable fee, just like you would otherwise. You can also use up your trove of parchments, so that's actually even better yet. The rat infestation in the Enclave grows worse at the Old Night Pub. Seems to have attracted more of them overnight. Finally, a last man standing leaderboard has been added to the Enclave. Now you'll know who to run away from first. In related news, they'd like to clarify how sculling works on our high-risk PvP worlds, to indicate that upon death you'll lose all your items, just as you would if you were skulled. A skull will appear above your head everywhere on high-risk PvP worlds, and upon entering the wilderness on very high-risk PvP worlds. The new skull looks like this, so it just has like horns. So kind of funky, huh? And in other news, the PvP world Rhoda has moved to period A. On the east of the Atlantic, the host for the high-risk PvP world will be World 343 Germany. On the west of the Atlantic, the host for the standard PvP world will be World 324 USA. And for the free-to-play PvP World 117 USA, the members-only LMS World will be World 333 UK, and the free-to-play LMS World will be World 469 US. And other news is players may no longer enter his death office if they haven't been in combat on a dead man world in the previous few seconds. The Kraken will now correctly attack the player it is engaged in combat with. Players can no longer teleport when traveling via the lift in Miscellanea. Players can no longer walk inside the blankets of the Sithid Abbey. The Achievement Diary Cape will no longer perform its emote where space is too restricted. The player-owned house jewelry box now correctly refers to the Ferax Enclave, not Clan Wars. Players can now keep running when slicing up sacred eels from Zol Andra. While the Bounty Hunter emblem and reward system is due to removal in the near future, before that's ready, players will now be asked to spend time outside the Ferax Enclave buffer zone in the wilderness before they can be assigned the target. And to fix an issue where damage done was miscalculated during a transition phase in the Grotesque Guardians fight. So that is actually everything for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later, guys.